Sotheby's is the world's largest collector car auction house by total sales. They are the preeminent market maker of high-quality collector cars and collections, regardless of size or complexity. By working in partnership with the Sotheby's team and its network of 80 offices in 40 countries, RM Sotheby's has established the largest client network of any collector car auction house in the world. Join the RM Sotheby's family by connecting with one of their car specialists at rmsotheby's.com or contact me directly at gstanley@rmsotheby's.com. LLC TLC is here to save you money on all of your vehicle purchases. LLC TLC will permanently register your classic cars in Montana to avoid any annual renewal fees. As your registered agent, they will handle everything for you so you never have to step foot in Montana. And as a listener of this podcast, LLC TLC is offering 30% off your entire package. Simply go to llctlc.com/classic or mention this podcast when you contact LLC TLC direct. All right, it is 10:04 in the morning. I am in Amish country, and I am headed to D&D Restoration Shop to check out an unrestored car from the 70s with only 9,000 miles. So Mr. Mike Ison is going to be our driver today and our tour guide. So I'm pretty excited about this because this is a rare event where you can not only see an unrestored car, but you can experience it. I see it right now. All right, so I'm pulling in. The car is parked outside here. It's not the FedEx truck. There it is. The Pontiac Trans Am at D&D Classic. All right, this is going to be fun. All right, so I got Mike Ison here in this incredible car. I'm not going to talk about it. He's going to talk about it. So Mike, tell us what we're looking at here.
This was a 1977 Pontiac Trans Am with 8,778 or so miles on it. It's a one-owner car. Gentleman's father purchased this for him from Hiddle Pontiac Cadillac in Greenville, Ohio in 1977. And I asked him, how come you only got 8,700 miles on a car you got like this when you were 16? He's like, well, man, I went to college, life got in the way. He brought it to us to get it restored, because it had been sitting for a long time. It wasn't running at the time. And I looked the car over and begged him not to restore it.
Yeah.
Now, I work at a restoration shop. I want a paycheck next week. But this car was too nice of a survivor type car, in my opinion, to restore. So what his plan is to take it to the Trans Am Nationals in Tip City, Ohio this year, get it judged in the Survivor Series, which there's no way he's not going to win. Once we look over this car, you'll see why.
That's crazy.
It's got all the paperwork in it. We've got the window sticker. I've got the business card of the guy that sold it to him.
Every registration from 77.
Every registration from new.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised because he had a customized license plate made for it, that it was still available because it hadn't been plated in 10 or 15 years before he brought it to us.
Yeah. That's very cool. So let's do a walk around the car. Sure. And the fun part is we're going to show out some of the factory defects, stuff they did back in the day that we're like, wow, that's crazy that they would do that. So
you want to start with a big obvious one, or you want to go over the subtle stuff first?
Let's start with the obvious. All right.
Look at the Trans Am logo. It's kind of going downhill.
Yeah, Trans Am logo is not quite on straight. If you'll see below here, there is some rust that's a concern, but this is all original, and hence why you want to get it judged now, then maybe try to put something to stop that rust from
I'm going to try to keep you from doing a full-blown, blown-apart restoration.
Yeah.
You've got I cataloged this car. I put a flash drive of everything on this car before we did a thing to it. It had all the stencils on the brake drums. It had the part numbers stenciled on the brake shoe adjusters.
Yeah.
And the whole time we're working on it, I'm just going, oh my God. Oh
yeah.
my God. Yeah. Oh my God.
There's a lot of those moments. And so they are replacement tires, but we have the originals with the car. Oh yeah. And look at the factory gaps. This is Look at the shadow here. Yeah, super tight right here, and it's quite a bit above my finger.
And quite a bit below over there.
And then here you got, you know, pretty thick up top, but a little tighter at the bottom.
And you go around here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's not even close.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean the gap
Just
here,
the factory gaps
where it tapers in and pops back out. It's not too bad that way.
Right.
You got that part straight. Now that's, but you can look over there and see how much higher that fender is.
Now tell us about this car. So it's got the 6.6 liter. Is that was the biggest engine of the?
Yeah, this is actually a Pontiac engine. It's not an Oldsmobile engine.
Yeah.
It's got a turbo 400 short tail shaft transmission. And I don't know what the ratio is. It's got the factory posi rear end in it. That I would say works. It does work.
Right.
If it's wet, you can get it to spin the tires. Other than that, not so much. Now, with the factory tires, it probably would have, but tires are made much better now than they were in 1977. The compounds are different.
Yeah, and the other thing,
Rips up pretty good, but it drives just as good as the day they made it. The only things that aren't working on the car at the moment are the clock and the air conditioning because of the R12 factor I'm having. But I am going to go get that service for him, and I got a guy that can do it for me. He's just been backed up. But everything works. I mean, the air conditioner, the compressor works, everything comes on.
The other thing to note is that this has the original, and we'll pop the hood here in a second, and the trunk, and we'll look underneath it, but it has the original exhaust, which desperately needs to be changed out, but it is original.
And it's quiet.
And it's quiet. And I think you said the brake booster, master
cylinder. We replaced the master cylinder and did a service on it. It still has the original belts, hoses, clamps. The engine's basically untouched.
Yeah.
All it's been is serviced through its whole life. And actually the air cleaner we probably didn't really need to replace because they replaced it and it just sat. It hasn't even ran.
Yeah.
But in for a penny, in for a pound while I'm doing a service.
Sure.
Actually, the air cleaner hadn't been replaced. It was the original GM air filter on it. And I think somebody saw it laying around and threw it away, but I did have the original air filter. Every part I took off, I kept. We replaced the master cylinder and rear wheel cylinders. Those are the original brake pads that came on from the factory.
Original brake pads, wow. All right, well, let's look at some of the defects here. So I'll go back on the other side in a second, but these are quite a bit discolored just from the sun or many years of sitting because it's not the same material. But I thought this was hilarious. The paint here, the original paint is dripping significantly, you know, from the factory. So that's one of those factory things that people don't replicate, right?
One of the things that I can't show you is over here. You got a crease right here. You got a crease in this.
Right.
Where, you know, just a bicycle handlebar or something hit it. So we had the paintless dent remover guy come.
Yep.
We took the vent out of it so we could get in to access it. He did a fabulous job. He's a local guy. He does magnificent work. But you come over here and look. I don't know if you can get that or not, Greg. You see that little black spot?
A little black spot.
Okay, there was a rock in there that they had painted over.
From the factory?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
From the factory.
Oh, that's hilarious. Now you can really see the discoloration here. And this car does have some little dents and dings, scrapes in the paint, but it's original stuff. Now, before we get to the interior, which is incredible, here's a sneak peek because it is the original, untouched, unworn cloth, or whatever you call this, interior, velour. Let's look under the hood.
Okay.
Go ahead and pop the hood. All right, so there's the engine. So why don't you give us a little tour of some of the fun stuff. Now there is this antifreeze marking that they did in 2001. I wish that wasn't there, but everything else inside here is all original, except for the battery.
The battery's incorrect. It has the original spark plugs in it. It ran so good we determined not to change the spark plugs. Wow. We didn't change the plug wires. We didn't take the distributor cap off of it. Like I said, we just did a basic service. These are all the original hoses, the hose clamps, and you can see the markings on these. And Greg, come over here.
Oh yeah, let me look at the fan belt.
It's got the original belts on it still.
Original belts with the GM marking. Now, just to be clear, we are not documenting this because this car is coming up for sale, correct?
No, this car is not for sale. This gentleman got this car new.
And he's never going to sell it. We're just trying to...
He doesn't need anybody's money for this car. He wants to keep this car.
We're just sharing this really, really cool car. Like, look at the padding underneath here. It's totally untouched.
And usually by this point in time, that's been ripped off and thrown away because it was falling off of it.
Yeah.
So this car did have a common defect that all GM cars from this era have. The headliner was falling out of it.
Yes.
There's a problem getting the material, but my upholstery guy was able to remove it, make a new cardboard insert for the roof, and it's actually the original headliner.
Okay.
The only thing that's incorrect about it is the cardboard's not perforated like the holes would be. If you look up at it, you can see it. Who's going to see it?
Right.
Nobody's going to know that it's the original headliner. It's just the cardboard.
Sure. Yep.
Collapsed.
Also, what I thought was really cool in here is the glue, the factory glue around the hood scoop here. You can see it. It's just slathered on there.
Earl didn't care when he put this car together, Greg.
No, and this reminds me of the Mustangs of the 60s. They called it snake snot.
Okay, I didn't know that. I never heard that.
But it's yellow. This one's green, which is pretty amazing. And you can see the data plate over here. But yeah, all original stuff. Hoses, like you said. The pedestal clamps are all original. Just quite a time capsule.
And those are the worst clamps ever made. They absolutely are. I've spent many a night trying to get one of them off. And they don't ever go back on. You got to take them off with a pair of 10 snips. Close the hood.
Close the hood and we'll check out the trunk.
We used the original material for the headliner and put in a new piece of cardboard. I took the bulb out for the dome light because we have the doors open a lot, and I didn't want to put any extra strain on the battery, and it tends to turn those a yellowish color.
Sure.
So trying to keep that nice for him.
But look at the velour, you said. Oh my gosh.
Look at
I can't imagine.
Look at the foam.
Yeah.
And it smells new still. I mean, if you could smell it, you'd say like, man, they just bought this car. And another thing I found was unusual, Greg. It's got a blue interior and black seat belts.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but everybody's an expert in the car collecting hobby.
Are they really?
Oh, they are. You don't even have to ask them. They'll be happy to tell you. If you took this car to be judged after it was restored, well, those are the wrong seat belts.
Right.
These are not the wrong seat belts.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And you wouldn't know that unless it's a totally unrestored car.
That's right.
Otherwise, you'd figure it wasn't
correct. Well, I would
correct.
think this was wrong if I saw it. Those aren't supposed to be blue. See, we all don't know everything. We're not as smart as we like to think we are sometimes.
And you just look at this original floor mats, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's a couple little stains here in the carpet, but it's what you would expect for an unrestored car.
There's a couple on the seat as well. Now, I'm convinced, I'm positive,
there's the 87,
that there is a build sheet underneath this seat, but I did not want to take the seat out.
Right.
Now, when it comes back after he's done with his judging, I'm going to get it out. I'm willing to bet, too, that there's a build sheet on top of that fuel tank. I don't know if it's still going to be legible, but it's all going to be there. All the stickers are on the springs.
Yeah.
The shocks. I mean, I've never seen a car like this.
Now, just look at the doors here. Why don't we, you want to take it for a spin?
I would love to take it for a spin. Thanks for asking.
Let's start it up. I want to hear it. I want to hear the exhaust.
It's not really that loud.
Yeah, it starts right up. Give it a little gas, would you? Then I'll jump in. All right, let's go for a little ride here. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, young man.
All right.
What's this? Look at the scoop.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
Now, that's non-functional.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't do anything, but...
It just looks pretty, boy. It does move. All right, so let's just go for a little spin. All right, automatic. Is it a
Turbo 400?
I'm assuming a 4-speed?
3.
3-speed. All right. We got a nice pace car over there.
Yeah, we do.
Wow, this thing's smooth. Just go a 360 here. Man, I can't believe the back tray back there. How clean that thing is with. Well, because it's rarely been in the sun, it seems, right?
Right. Now, Greg, I want you to hold on because I saw this next move in a cartoon once.
I'm all for it.
All right, no, I'm not going to do anything like that.
Yeah, this is super nice. So you said the radio currently does not work in the...
No, the radio works.
Oh, radio does
Yeah,
work.
it does work.
Does the cigarette lighter work?
Go ahead and try
Let's try it out. For those of you who do not know, this is a cigarette lighter. And when it pops out, it means it's heated up and you can see the warm glow of the coils to light your cigarette. Oh, just popped. There's the warm glow. Works perfect.
I've got some cigarettes on me if you want one.
I'm good, thank you very much.
Right, no problem.
Oh man, look at this, we're doing what? Almost 60. It's doing about 2,400 RPM.
Just sucking the gas in.
Just sucking the gas,
Just
you can
sucking
feel
the
it?
gas. No, I'm just telling you, I know how these cars are. If this thing gets 10 or 11 miles a gallon, we're gonna be lucky.
Man, this thing is so smooth.
It's a new car.
Got the original everything. Okay, what is that?
Delete for the rear window defroster. This car didn't come equipped.
Oh, it didn't come with that. I was wondering what that plate was for. You can see the AC vents down here and over here and under the steering column. Man, this thing is amazing. Wow. I don't have the exhaust mic'd up, unfortunately.
All right, I absolutely love 77 to 79 Pontiac Trans Ams. I absolutely despise the same year Camaros.
Now, why is that?
Because of the guys that owned them. And the guys that own these were worse than those guys, but this car looks cooler. And you know how you piss off a Trans Am guy?
How's that?
Hey man, nice Camaro.
Anytime you can fit a car joke into one of these videos.
It's not a problem, man. I got plenty of them. Maybe we'll get a low mileage Corvette and I can give you plenty of jokes then.
If you have a low mileage Corvette, please call me.
Oh, I will. I will. I'll call you. And I'll have plenty of wisecracks to make. You know, you tell a Corvette guy in Ohio in the wintertime,
How's that?
because he's wearing a shiny jacket with cross flags on the back of it. He's got his name Mike or Chris on the front of his shirt. Because he can't drive his Corvette in the wintertime in Ohio.
So, are we technically an Amish country?
Mennonites, actually.
Mennonites.
Mennonites. They're like an Amish guy with a cell phone.
Mennonites are an Amish guy with a cell phone. Oh yeah, look at what's the story on these old.
All out of the river. All came out of the Stillwater River.
These stones came out of the river back in what, 1800s?
No, about the 1950s, I think, actually.
Okay. We got the cornfields and.
How about this road?
Oh yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, I can see you've been down here before.
That ain't me. I can prove it in court.
Wow, this is great.
As bad as they made it, or nice. There's two choices.
Two choices to restore a Corvette: as bad as they made it, or nice.
You want it nice, or you want it the way they made it?
Well, that speaks to a lot of American cars in this.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The build quality, as we've seen on this, was not.
All right.
They weren't overly worried about. Well, the guy working on it wanted to go home.
Right.
He didn't care about this car. He wasn't going to buy it. He just wanted to get the fender on, get out of there.
Right.
Bet he wanted to get the stripe on, the sticker on, whatever she had to do, and go home to those damn kids.
All right, so we just did a couple runs. Car's doing great here. Great job, Mike.
You're doing a good job yourself there, Greg. You get it right, big boy?
Let's talk about that. How emotionally attached are you to this car?
Well, my kids are grown up, so I don't need them anymore. I'm divorced. I'm a single guy. All I've got is my job and my friends and a couple of hobbies I've got. I'm absolutely enamored with this car. But like I said, it's not my car. Then again, I felt that same way about a girl once too, so it's no big deal.
So, how much longer do you get to enjoy this car through others?
I got a feeling that I'll have an attachment or something to do with this car for the rest of the term of the gentleman that owns its ownership. I'll be involved with this car for the rest of probably my life anyway.
That's awesome.
I think so too.
I appreciate you sharing it with me.
Dude, I'm glad that I had somebody to share it with that appreciates it as much as I do. And like I said, this guy's a dermatologist. He's a world-renowned doctor, wonderful man. And I talked him out of restoring this car because it's just such a time capsule that it needs to be appreciated for what it is. I don't know how else to put it. I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed here.
That's okay. All right, let me go. Let's go get a beer.
Okay. This is the Ison Sports Lounge. If I'm not at work, you can usually find me here. Every Thursday, I come and meet with some friends of mine. I call it the Algonquin Round Table. If you don't know what the Algonquin Round Table is, in Manhattan in the 20s and 30s, the Algonquin Hotel, New York, young writers and poets would get together and discuss art and music and politics. This is the Covington version of that.
Ah, nice. All right, let's go check it out. Ison Sports Lounge.
Oh.
All right, finally I get to drive this thing. All right, started right up. We're putting it in storage here. So gravel road, so I'm going to take it slow. Oh man, the steering is super tight. Smooth. Had some jalapeno poppers, sloppy joes, and Paps for lunch there. Here we go. All right. Tell me when to stop.
You're in.
All right. All right, that's it.